My name is Elliott. I'm running for District 16 State Representative. My slogan is common sense politics. Now, some people will ask, what does common sense and politics have to do with each other? Well, if you're trying to move this community forward, common sense and politics should go hand in hand. Let me ask you a question. Let's look at Pine Bluff right now. Is Pine Bluff the Pine Bluff you want it to be? Does it look like we're in the 1970s, or does it look like we're in year 2013? Which one does it look like? Well, let me ask you another question. Are we really investing back into our community, in our youth, in our adults and children with disabilities? How about this? Are we reinvesting in our community at all to make things better? Ask yourself the question, can we do better? Then ask yourself this question, how can we do better? Well, I tell you how. I have a 3-tier plan that if we work together, that's city, that's county, that's state, that we can move this district forward. And I'm going to tell you how we do it. We do it through economic development, we do it through fair housing, and we do it through investing back into our youth. Now, when you say economic development, what do you mean, Ephraim? What is economic developing? I tell you what economic developing is. We have to invest back into our infrastructure. Think about it. What person is going to come into your community when your community looks dilapidated and depressed? We can take some of that tax money and put it into our community, creating jobs so that people can start to work on rebuilding our infrastructure. The tax is already there. Why don't we utilize it? What better way to use money to reinvest back into your own people so the people who are already here can have jobs and create more of an economic stimulation? The second thing is this in infrastructure. We have to come up with some way to have an incentive for people to buy in Pine Bluff. Now, think about it. Everybody around, almost everyone around, has a car. Why are we going to different places to purchase cars when we have dealerships here? If we work with the businesses here to develop an incentive that we purchase here and we buy here, that creates economic stimulation as well. We have to come out with ways of thinking outside the box to create jobs to help our own people here. We have to do what we can to help the homeless. We have to do what we can to help the elderly. And Lord knows we have to do what we have to do to help our youth. If we don't teach them, who's going to do it? How do we look our kids and our seniors and our adults and children with disabilities in their face? And how do we say to them that we've done all we can with the community the way it is? We have a job, ladies and gentlemen. We have a job ahead of us that we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and get to working. And I tell you, it starts with leadership. We have to make sure that our leaders have the vision to make things happen. The Bible says without vision, the people will perish. And I want to make sure that we have a vision of moving forward. Now, I spoke to you a little bit about economic development. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about housing. Think about it. We have a lot of houses around here that don't look like it's up to par. You drive around here, you look like it's in the 1970s. We can do something about that. Why can't we work with the CDC? Why can't we work with the city? Why can't we work with other entities on rebuilding our housing and building new housing? Aren't our kids, aren't our adults, aren't our seniors worth it? When you have a beautiful, a rebuilt house, a nice built house, the community looks better. People look at it and they want to move in. There's no reason why we should have ditches in our community next to decent and affordable housing. We can do it, ladies and gentlemen. we can work towards getting those things done. We can put our kids, we can put our adults to work and helping doing this. It's up to us to make a difference. And that's the way that we're going to do. We can create affordable housing. We want our children, when they graduate from UAPB, CART, we want them to live in a beautiful neighborhood that they have invested in and we have invested in. It only helps with economic stimulation. And the only way that we're going to do it is we reinvest back in ourselves. Now, the third thing is very dear to me. It's very dear to me because think about it. How do we look our children in their face and say, we want you to be a part of the new rebuilt Pine Bluff if we don't invest back in them? How do we do it? We can't. We can't if we don't make a conscious effort to use some of that tax money to build youth facilities that are going to teach our children how to be productive taxpayers. We need to be providing jobs for our youth. We need programs to help them manage money. We need to teach them about credit and being credit savvy to make sure that they understand how they're going to invest in their community. By doing this, we help support ourselves. A lot of times people will say, well, it's a black or white issue. It's not. It's a green issue. The green issue counts. And when we reinvest back in ourselves, when we put the resources back into ourselves, we help everybody understand that economic developing, that fair housing, and that reinvesting in our children is what's going to move us forward. My name is Ephraim Elliott, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.